It has been a year since the release of Stalingrad, and now I am back to do another Stalingrad review. Of course, Stalingrad has its ups and downs for this entire year, and so in this video we're going to be reviewing Stalingrad, why it was so hated, why it's currently still a little bit being hated, and what Enlisted can learn from this. With that said, without further ado, this video has been made possible for the friends at Discord, meaning if you haven't liked, subscribed, or joined Discord, highly suggest that you do. But that said, let's get started. So recently I've been playing a lot of Stalingrad and it's been quite a lot of fun. Now the reason why I didn't play Stalingrad before was because of the fact that I didn't like it. I didn't like the progression, I didn't like the weapons, and most of the weapons were repeats, which did make sense because most of the community, once it came out, were horrified at the new progression system, which, although you can pay for fast track and get unlocked weapons, the free-to-play player essentially doesn't even have that. They have weapons that were locked behind the bundle, and they had other stuff, which was essentially repeats of other campaigns, and most people were straight outright calling it Moscow 2.0. But since then, Stalingrad has changed, and for better. The number one thing I'll have to say I love about Stalingrad is the maps. Now, the maps itself are very interesting. Most of the time I play it, I feel like, oh, come on, guys. It's the map of Stalingrad, and you have less bombs than Berlin. Like, seriously, the destruction level is less than Berlin. But that was the maps on release. Now, with the new maps, it has become much, much better. One good example of this is a tractor factory, in which the map is extremely good, I would have to say. Like, the map, it gives you the feel of you're attacking in a very urban settlement that has been essentially run down, or should I say bombed to smithereens, but the structure is there. And the fact that you can essentially play almost anything. Like, I've been in a tank, it still works. I've been as a radio operator, still works, because you can call in artillery like you do at the airfield map in Normandy. But the better thing about this is the fact that the map actually is balanced. Like, it's hard for me to admit, but I'm actually loving Stalingrad. And once I start to play the tractor map, most of the other maps aren't bad either. They're just, well, doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of historical accuracy or destruction levels. But that said, what can Enlisted learn? Well, the first thing I'll ask Enlisted to learn is please do not give us another locked system. And I think Enlisted has learned that weapon very well. And most importantly, with the new progression coming out, Enlisted can just essentially focus on maps. Case in point, you can give us a Battle of a Bulge map. You can give us, essentially, maps like the Battle of Kursk. You don't have to worry about other things except for giving factions new weapons, because all you have to do right now, mostly, is to essentially fix your maps. And as of right now, the maps in Stalingrad I'll actually rate as one of the best, because it's pretty good. Like, most of the maps are very, very good. The Tractor Factory is obviously my favorite, and it gives me a lot of dynamics and feels. But of course, there are other things about Stalingrad that make it interesting. One of the facts is that you can parkour, you can climb, and it still gives us the early war feel. So that's the first thing Enlisted can learn. Another thing that they can learn is about balancing. I do not need to tell you guys how many times I've been fighting against the KV-1, literally deploying everything I have against the KV-1, and the thing will still not blow up. I am dead serious about this, because there is no practical way unless you have the Panzer IV F2, and even then, the Panzer IV F2 can get one-shotted by the KV-1. So that's very, very unfortunate. So balancing is another thing for Enlisted to learn, even in the new progression, because as of right now, the progression looks good, but it's not balanced. Well, at least not really. And what I think Enlisted should learn from Stalingrad is balancing. Another thing Enlisted has gotten straight is the fact that people play Stalingrad for its historical implications. For one, Stalingrad was one of the biggest battles in the Second World War, and thus, Enlisted has gotten a lot of players who, to this day, still play Stalingrad. As a matter of fact, right now, in-game Stalingrad games, I get full players on both sides, which is almost amazing considering the fact that if you step into Tunisia, you're getting stomped if you're on the Axis, or if you join Allies Berlin, you're getting stomped. So that's interesting. But that said, that's all for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join Discord. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.